I welcome in the video number 3 of the topic reagents and reactions in organic synthesis. So in this video number 3 we are going to discuss the second part of this topic called as reactions. Now these reactions will be discussed in this part B with respect to the statement of reaction, specific reaction, mechanism of that reaction, and finally the applications of that reaction. So the first reaction is a Diels-Alder reaction. So what is this Diels-Alder reaction? It is a chemical reaction between a conjugated diene that may be open chain or cyclic and a substituted alkene which is called as dienophile to form a cyclohexene derivative. So in short we can say that diene and dienophile undergo addition reaction. Specifically it is called as cycloaddition reaction to form cyclohexene derivative. So it is an example of pericyclic reaction with a concerted mechanism. So what is this concerted mechanism? So concerted mechanism of the reaction is the mechanism in which the bond breaking and bond making occurs in a single step. So such reactions are called as concerted reactions. So Diels-Alder reaction, it is a 4+2 cycloaddition reaction. So objective question may be asked on this point. Diels-Alder reaction is dash dash type of cycloaddition reaction. There you should remember it is a 4+2 cycloaddition reaction. Now let us see the specific reaction of Diels-Alder reaction. Here this is a diene which is called as butadiene. This one is dienophile which is nothing but the ethylene, and this on Diels-Alder reaction, that is 4+2 cycloaddition reaction, it forms a new 6-membered unsaturated ring. Now why it is called as 4+2 reaction? Because 4 pi electrons, here these are the 2 pi electrons plus these 2 pi electrons, they become 4 pi electrons plus these 2 pi electrons. So 4+2 cycloaddition reaction. So what is the mechanism of Diels-Alder reaction? Now if we number this carbon as 1, 2, 3 and 4 and this carbon as 5 and 6, then we can proceed to explain the mechanism of Diels-Alder reaction. Now in case of diene, as I told you earlier, in case of this butadiene 2 pi bonds are there. In case of ethylene 1 pi bond is there. So electrons from the dienophile attack carbon C1 on the diene, resulting in bond between C1 and C6. So this dienophile attacks to this carbon number 1 and there is formation of bond between carbon number 1 and 6. This bond which is present in between carbon number 1 and 2 will be shifted in between carbon number 2 and 3 and there is this pi bond formation. Now this pi bond will get shifted in between carbon number 5 and 6 and there is a formation of bond between 5 and 6 and this is this 6-membered cyclic compound is obtained. So there is a simultaneous bond making and bond breaking. So this is called as concerted mechanism which occurs in Diels-Alder reaction. Diels-Alder reaction requires no metal catalyst. This is important point that you should remember. Now, what are the applications of Diels-Alder reaction? This Diels-Alder reaction is useful in the synthesis of variety of heterocyclic as well as homocyclic compounds. Now let me zoom this. So this is again, this is butadiene, this is butadiene, this is diene. Again there is a electron concerted mechanism, that is simultaneous bond breaking and bond making occurs, and there is formation of this cyclic unsaturated ketone. Now this is again diene, which is substituted diene. Now this dienophile, again it is a diketone unsaturated alkene, now which undergo Diels-Alder reaction to form this new 6-membered ring. Then the third example, again 1,3-butadiene, it undergo addition reaction with ethine, or it is also called as acetylene, and there is formation of 1,4-cyclohexadiene. So these are the some applications of Diels-Alder reaction. Now let's discuss the second reaction, which is called as Mirwin-Pondorf-Verlet reduction reaction. Now what is this? In short, it is called as MPV reduction. So in this reaction, reduction of ketones and aldehydes to corresponding alcohols take place using aluminum isopropoxide in the presence of isopropanol. So this is the statement: ketones or aldehydes get reduced to the corresponding alcohols in presence of aluminum isopropoxide and isopropanol in excess as a solvent. Now let's take the general reaction. This is the general reaction. So this one is ketone, this one is isopropanol. Now this forward reaction is called as MPV reduction reaction, whereas the reverse of this reaction is called as opener oxidation. So what is opener oxidation? The oxidation of alcohol to corresponding carbonyl compound is called as opener oxidation. So remember one point here: MPV reduction reaction is the reverse of opener's oxidation, and vice versa is also true. Now here, mechanism of this reaction. Now mechanism of reaction, it involves different steps. Now the first step, reaction between aluminum isopropoxide, which we are calling as 1. Reaction between aluminum isopropoxide, that is 1, and ketone compound to form an adduct 2. So this aluminum isopropoxide reacts with this ketone molecule, and there is formation of this adduct number 2. Now from this adduct number 2, there is a hydride ion transfer to form compound number 3. This is the compound number 3, which is formed after hydride ion transfer from adduct number 2. So in the previous video we have seen hydride ion is the H- ion. Now the third step of the mechanism of reaction is similar to step number 1 and 2. 2 more ketone molecules get added to the compound number 3, followed by hydride ion transfer to get the product alcohol. So these are these 3 steps, important steps that take place in the MPV reduction reaction. Now let's see the actual transfer or the shifting of the electrons or the bonding between the compounds. Now this is aluminum isopropoxide. This one is aluminum isopropoxide, and this is the first ketone molecule. So as I told you earlier, ketone consists of this carbonyl group, and carbonyl group is always, the carbonyl carbon is always electron deficient. So this carbon and oxygen carries negative charge and this carbon carries positive charge. So here this ketone forms the bond with aluminum to form the adduct second. So this is the adduct number 2. So in which, let me zoom again. So here this is the ketone molecule. So R3 R4, here R3 and R4. So this is the ketone molecule which is forming the bond with this aluminum via this oxygen, and this is the adduct number 2. So this is the adduct number 2. This is the second compound. Now in third step there is hydride ion transfer. This HCH bond breaks heterolytically, and both the bonded electrons will be migrated towards this hydrogen, and this hydrogen eliminates in the form of hydride ion. This hydride ion forms the bond with this positively charged carbon, and there is new CH bond formation here. So we are getting this compound number 3. So in which you can see here, this is the aluminum oxygen bond, this is the CH bond which is formed due to the hydride ion transfer. Now again with this compound number 3, two more, one and another third molecule of ketone get added in the same manner. So this is the first molecule of ketone. Then to this compound number 3, two more such ketone molecules get added in this way to form a adduct, and that adduct removes or eliminates hydride ion to obtain the alcohol. This alcohol is the compound. So this adduct number 4, compound number 4 will be formed, and this compound, after elimination of hydride ion, there is formation of 3 molecules of this alcohol. So this is the desired product. So this is the mechanism of MPV reduction reaction. Now let's come to the point, applications of MPV reduction reaction. The first important application of MPV reduction is reduction of unsaturated aldehydes. So by using MPV reduction reaction, we can carry out the reduction of acryldiide to allyl alcohol. So this CHO group get converted into primary alcoholic group. Now here this double bond is also there, but this double bond kept intact in this reduction reaction. That is the specificity of MPV reduction reaction. Other reducible groups do not undergo any change. So in this compound, 2 reducible groups are there. One is this double bond and second one is CHO, that is aldehyde group. When we use MPV reduction, when we carry out MPV reduction with this compound, this aldehyde CHO will get reduced to CH2OH, whereas this double bond remains as it is. This is the specificity or the uniqueness of MPV reduction reaction. Now second application, reduction of aromatic ketones. So aromatic ketones, for example acetophenone on MPV reduction gives alpha methyl benzyl alcohol. You can see the change, just note down the change. C double bond O is converted into CHOH. So that is the only change. The third application, reduction of allylic ketones. Now 2-cyclohexenone on MPV reduction reaction gives 2-cyclohexene-1-ol. Again note the change, C double bond O get reduced to CHOH. So ketone group get converted or get reduced to secondary alcoholic group, that is CHOH. The fourth application of MPV reduction reaction is reduction of para-nitrobenzaldehyde to para-nitrobenzyl alcohol. Now this is para-nitrobenzaldehyde and this one is para-nitrobenzyl alcohol. So in this compound consists of two reducible groups. CHO group is also reducible, NO2 group is also reducible. But if we don't want to, if we carry out any other reduction reaction with this compound, CHO will get reduced to CH2OH and this NO2 will get reduced to NH2 group. But if we carry out MPV reduction of this compound, it reduces only this CHO group to CH2OH group, and this CHO group get reduced to CH2OH group, and this NO2 group remains as it is. So that is the specificity or the peculiarity of the MPV reduction reaction. Only carbonyl group get reduced to the corresponding alcohol. So that is about the MPV reduction reaction. Now the third reaction is Hofmann rearrangement. Now what is this Hofmann rearrangement? Conversion of unsubstituted amide to corresponding primary amine containing one carbon less by the action of sodium hypohalite is known as Hofmann rearrangement. Let me repeat, unsubstituted amine are converted into primary amine by using sodium hypohalite, and this reaction is called as Hofmann rearrangement. Now let us see the general reaction. So RCONH2, this one is, let me zoom this, RCONH2 amide. Now this bromine and sodium hydroxide, they react with each other and there is formation of sodium hypobromite. Now amide, when this amide when reacts with sodium hypobromite, which is formed by the reaction between bromine and NOH, this amide will get converted into amine, and these are the side products. So this is the example of Hofmann rearrangement reaction. Now let us come to the mechanism of Hofmann rearrangement reaction. As I told you, sodium hydroxide reacts with bromine, there is formation of sodium hypobromite and side products. So this is the step number 1, formation of sodium hypobromite. The second step, formation of sodium bromamide. So this is amide, which is the starting compound, and this hypobromite, which is formed in first reaction, forms this N-bromamide compound. Step number 3, conversion of N-bromamide to acyl nitrene via N-bromamide anion. So this is the bromamide, N-bromamide. On reaction in presence of base, it is converted into N-bromamide ion. So this OH minus removes this H plus, and there is formation of this N-bromamide anion. This N-bromamide anion undergo elimination in which bromine get eliminated, and there is formation of this acyl nitrine. In the fourth step, migration of alkyl, that is R group of electron deficient nitrogen to form isocyanate. So this is the acyl nitrine. So actually this is the rearrangement reaction, just the atoms or groups get rearranged to form the product isocyanate. So this alkyl group will migrate to this nitrogen along with its bonded pair of electron to form this Rn bond. At the same time, these two electrons which are present on this nitrogen forms the bond with positively charged carbon, and this is the double bond formation between carbon and nitrogen. So this is the isocyanate which is formed in fourth step. In the last step, hydrolysis of isocyanate to form carbonic acid, which on decarboxylation forms amine. So this is isocyanate which is formed in previous reaction. So to this water molecule get added. We know the polarization of water, H plus and OH minus. So here N double bond C, one of the pi bond between nitrogen and carbon will be shifted towards nitrogen. Let me zoom this. One of the nitrogen carbon bond will get shifted towards nitrogen. As a result, nitrogen will have negative charge and this carbon will have positive charge. Now as I told you, H2O ionizes as H plus and OH minus. So this positively charged carbon forms the bond with a OH of water molecule, whereas H plus of water forms the bond with a nitrogen which carries negative charge. Due to the shifting of this pi bond, nitrogen acquires negative charge, carbon acquires positive charge. H plus forms the bond with N minus, OH minus forms the bond with this carbon. So this is the situation, or this compound which is called as carbonic acid is obtained. Now this undergo decarboxylation. So this bond will be shifted in this way. OH bond will break and it will break heterolytically, O minus H plus. Then this NH bond will break heterolytically, N minus C plus. This C plus O minus double bond formation will be there, and this eliminates in the form of carbon dioxide. N minus and this H plus, there is formation of NH2, and ultimately we get amine as a product. So this is the Hofmann rearrangement reaction. Now let's see the applications of Hofmann rearrangement. The first application is the synthesis of amino acids. We can synthesize amino acids by using Hofmann rearrangement. So specific example, succinamide is taken here and it is treated with potassium hypobromite solution where we obtain beta alanine. So this is the CONH2 amide group. This amide group get converted into primary amino group. The second application of the Hofmann rearrangement is the synthesis of hydrazine, and this hydrazine can be prepared by using urea in presence of potassium hypobromite. There is formation of this hydrazine, and these are the side products. The third application of the Hofmann rearrangement is preparation of amines which cannot be made by direct nucleophilic substitution reaction. So this is the utility of this Hofmann rearrangement. The amines which cannot be made by direct nucleophilic substitution can be prepared by using this Hofmann rearrangement. So this is nicotinamide. So this CONH2 group is there, CONH2 group. On reaction with potassium hypobromite, this CONH2 group get converted into this primary amino group. This CONH2 group get converted into this primary amino group, and we get this beta aminopyridine. Beta aminopyridine is the product of this reaction. So this is about the three reactions with respect to their statement, specific, reaction, mechanism, and applications. If you have any queries or questions, you can ask me. I will be happy to answer your queries. Thank you very much.